Finally, a boost, an increase to Social Security has finally passed in Congress. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you the latest video footage coming out overnight. Today is December the 21st, 2024, so that way you can see it for yourself. And we're also going to be taking a look at the latest headlines. Take a look at this. Coming out today, the Senate passes a bill to boost Social Security benefits for some December the 21st, 2024. But a lot of people are saying, hey, what about everybody that collects Social Security? Those on SSI, SSDI, retirement, across the board increases are needed. Some people are saying we need to eliminate the double taxation. We need to adjust the CPIE instead of the CPIW. And in addition to that, we also need to see the solvency extended because we have an issue with Social Security and time is running out. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you also the next bill that likely could be passing for Social Security, but it is sure nice to finally see some traction, though a lot of people are saying it is simply not enough. Now, take a look at this. This is the one that Donald Trump is pushing. Trump has proposed eliminating Social Security taxes. Here's the bill that could make it happen, and you can see this coming out about a week or so ago. But we are hearing that this is the primary one that he is going to be pushing next for Social Security, saying people have paid their entire lives into Social Security. They pay that income tax. Why are they being taxed yet again when they go to pull Social Security? This is double taxation. This is not right, and it needs to stop. Let me know if you agree in the comments. But like I said, I'm going to get you caught up on the latest so that way you can see it for yourself, know exactly what is going on. And like I said, if you're somebody that collects retirement, SSI, SSDI, any of these fixed income benefits from the Social Security Administration, you're going to want to see this video because big changes are going to be coming, and they're right around the corner in 2025, and a new administration is coming in, and a lot of people are wondering, are the promises that have been unfulfilled by the previous administration now going to come to fruition? We will see. I will keep you up to date every step of the way. Now, before we dive in, though, do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates, don't forget, take a quick second, hit that like button for me. Helps spread this out further so more people can get the latest updates. Subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? I'll keep you up to speed on everything so you know exactly what is taking place. And as always, I cite all the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it, so that way you can rest assured and know that it is the latest. Try to hold myself accountable to the community by citing everything. They're hyperlinks so you can read the articles that I am reading, see the dates, see the sources, and like I said, I put it on the screen so you can see it for yourself. So let's take a look at the latest coming out today, December 21st, 2024, as we are finally seeing some progress in Congress. Let's go ahead and play this video.
In this vote, the yeas are 76, the nays are 20. The 60 vote threshold having been achieved, the bill is passed.
Madam President, can we have some order, please?
Yes. The Senate will be in order.
Can we have some order, please?
The Democratic leader.
Thank you, Madam President. So tonight, the Senate finally corrects a 50-year mistake by passing the Social Security Fairness Act. Millions of retired teachers and firefighters and letter carriers and state and local workers have waited decades for this moment. No longer will public retirees see their hard-earned Social Security benefits robbed from them thanks to this bill. It's a very good thing that one of the final acts of the 118th Congress is delivering a huge win for working Americans. I thank my colleagues on both sides of the aisle for their outstanding work, particularly Senators Brown, Collins, Cassidy, who led the way, and all those who relentlessly across the country called their senators and got this done.
There you have it, you guys. So that was early this morning, Saturday morning, December the 21st, 2024. We have now seen the Social Security Fairness Act officially passed in Congress. Now, let's take a look at this article coming out this morning from The Hill to get you a little bit more information. And this came out right after it passed as well. You can see December 21st, 2024 at 12:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, this article says that the Senate voted overwhelmingly in the early hours of Saturday to pass legislation to boost Social Security benefits for more than 2 million Americans. You heard him mention firefighters, teachers, various workers. But again, we're going to get to here in just a second. What about everybody else as well. The legislation will repeal 2 statutes that have reduced payouts to state and local police, firefighters, teachers, and other public sector workers and their spouses for years. The legislation passed by a vote of 76 to 20. President Biden is expected to sign it into law. Senator Susan Collins of Maine, the bill's sponsor, said it would address horrendous inequity. She highlighted the plight of teachers in Maine who worked their whole careers in the public sector under a state requirement system that did not include Social Security and, as a result, received a fraction of the Social Security benefits earned by spouses who worked in the private sector after they died. Collins has been working on the issue for more than 20 years and first introduced the bill back in 2005. The bill will help more than 20,000 people in her home state. Now, Senator Bill Cassidy talked about his former high school civics teacher, Miss Betty, who saw her husband's Social Security benefit cut to a fraction of what she expected because she spent her life working in public school. Now, when her husband passed away, her husband worked at an Exxon refinery. Her Social Security was cut to a fraction because she had worked in the public sector as a teacher, he said. Cassidy said his former teacher would have received better benefits in retirement if she had never worked at all. The legislation will increase benefits for more than 70,000 people in Louisiana. The bill, the Social Security Fairness Act, will repeal the windfall elimination provision, or the WEP, enacted in 1983, which reduces the Social Security benefits of workers who receive government pensions not covered by Social Security. Now, it will also repeal the government pension offset enacted in 1977, which reduces benefits for spouses, widows, and widowers whose spouses receive public sector pensions. Now, Senator Sherrod Brown, the bill's Democratic sponsor, said the legislation would help bus drivers, teachers, and cafeteria workers in the public school system. He talked about a woman who drove a bus for disabled children in Lawrence County, Ohio, for 40 years, whose Social Security benefits would be reduced from $2,100 a month to $500 a month under the current law. The Congressional Budget Office, or the CBO, projects the legislation will add $196 billion to the federal deficit over the next 10 years and speed up Social Security's projected insolvency by 6 months. Senators passed the measure after defeating an amendment sponsored by Senator Ron Paul to offset the cost of the expanded benefits by gradually raising the retirement age from 67 to 70 over the course of the next 12 years. If we give new people more money, we have to take it from somewhere. We have to either borrow it or print it, but it has to come from somewhere, Paul said. You can't just push the bankruptcy of Social Security and say, well, yeah, it'll go bankrupt in about 9 years, but maybe I won't be here, he said. Shouldn't we care about the future of Social Security? Paul said that the vote on his amendment would reveal who here is truly fiscally responsible people in the Senate. Now, Senator Mike Lee, another fiscal conservative, argued that WEP was enacted to fix serious problems in how Social Security benefits were calculated, asserting that prior to it, individuals with mixed careers in the public and private sectors often received more in Social Security benefits than they were entitled to receive. He acknowledged that the law designed to keep people from receiving more than they earned in benefits may have needed to be fine-tuned, but argued that repealing WEPE and GPO altogether would return the nation to a broken model that unfairly rewards some at the expense of others. He argued the bill would force the 96% of the workforce that contributes to Social Security to subsidize overly generous benefits for the 4% of the workforce, those who do not participate in Social Security and instead contribute to non-covered pensions. Edward Kelly, the general president of the International Association of Firefighters, applauded passage of the bill. Now, Congress broke a promise 40 years ago to millions of Americans when it enacted the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset, Kelly said. Today, U.S. senators from both parties joined to right that wrong, ensuring that retired firefighters and other dedicated public servants get the Social Security benefits that they've paid into and earned. The legislation passed the House last month by a vote of 327 to 75. So again, we saw saw that last month pass the House, last night passed the Senate. It is now moving on to President Joe Biden to be signed into law. So for those that have been waiting on this for quite some time, and we've been hearing all of these promises of legislation passing for Social Security, we are finally starting to see some traction in some legislation making its way through. Now, a lot of people, though, were waiting for that $200 per month increase that we had heard mentioned by Biden when he had first started his campaign, and we never saw it come to fruition. However, we did see a bill that was presented by Bernie Sanders, the Social Security Expansion Act, that would have increased the benefits by $200 per month. However, we heard that there was an issue with that. The reason why Biden did not support it was because he said that he had made a promise that nobody making under $400,000 a year would see an extra dime of additional taxes. And that particular bill said, if you make $250,000 or more, you will pay into Social Security even more so to help fund that $200 per month increase and to extend the solvency, which is also going to be covered in the bill that we are hearing is moving forward right now, or that Donald Trump would like to see move forward. Now, if this bill doesn't make it through the current session, it's going to need to be reintroduced. But take a look at this. This is likely what we can next see coming up here for Social Security. Trump proposes eliminating Social Security tax. Let me know. Do you think this is a good idea? He is saying double taxation is taking place. It is not okay. We have tax brackets set in place. A lot of people collecting the benefits. It's like we're giving it with one hand and taking it away with the other because they are getting wiped out from taxation. Here's the bill that could make it happen. A bill has been introduced to eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits. Now, it says, when tax time rolls around each year, some older Americans are surprised to discover that a portion of their Social Security benefits are taxable. Since the government doesn't automatically withhold taxes from benefits, it could mean some beneficiaries owe the IRS in April. Meanwhile, the Social Security trust funds are slowly running dry, and the Old Age and Survivors Insurance Trust Fund, which pays out retirement benefits, will be depleted in the year 2033. According to current estimates, after that, the Social Security system will only be able to pay out 79% of the retirement benefits owed. So in other words, if you collect $1,000 per month from the Social Security Administration, whether it's retirement, SSI, SSDI, whatever you collect, you'll suddenly get a check of $790. And when you say, hey, what happened? I got shorted about $210. They're simply going to say, sorry, we don't have enough funds for the trust fund to pay out 100% of the benefits. There are cuts happening across the board. This will unfold, they're saying, by the year 2033 if something does not change for the trust funds for Social Security. According to a recent report from the trustees of the Social Security and Medicare trust funds, the system is a mess. And it's underfunded, and it needs reform, and no one wants to do it, says Brett Walters, a financial planner with TBH Advisors in Brentwood, Tennessee. However, with a Social Security shortfall looming, legislators may feel more pressure to come up with a fix. One bill introduced this year aims to prop up the trust fund balance while also providing a tax break to Social Security beneficiaries. What is the bill that would eliminate Social Security taxes? It's called the You Earn It, You Keep It Act, which was introduced in January by Democratic Representative Angie Craig of Minnesota. The bill contains two main provisions: elimination of federal income tax on Social Security benefits, and also an assessment of Social Security payroll tax on income of $250,000 or more. So this is that taxation that we saw that was similar to what was presented in the Social Security Expansion Act. However, this particular bill does not have the $200 per month increase included, like we saw with the Expansion Act that was presented by Bernie Sanders. It says for 2025, Social Security payroll tax will be assessed on income up to $176,100. The 12.4% tax is a split between employers and employees. Self-employed workers are responsible for paying the entire amount themselves. As currently written, the bill would create a donut hole of income that is exempt from Social Security payroll tax. So $176,100 up to $250,000 would not get taxed into Social Security. That is the donut hole that they are talking about. This is according to Bill Smith, the National Director of Tax Technical Services for financial firm CBIZ MHM in Reston, Virginia. For instance, if the law were to be in effect for the year 2025, high-income workers would pay Social Security payroll tax on the first $176,100 of their income. No Social Security tax on the income from $176,101 to $249,999, and then the tax would be assessed for the income in excess of $250,000. Now, those extra payroll taxes would help prop up Social Security's trust fund, while the bill's other provisions, eliminating the federal income tax on benefits, could put money back into the pockets of older Americans. The name, "You Earned It, You Keep It," might be a little misleading to some, says Michelle Frank, associate professor of accountancy at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. She notes that because of current income thresholds, only about 40% of Social Security beneficiaries see a portion of their benefits taxed. It's not like everyone is going to get a big tax break here, she says. Now, extending the solvency of the Social Security trust funds. As proposed, the You Earned It, You Keep It Act would allow Social Security to keep making all scheduled payments in full through the year 2054. So this would extend it for about an additional 20 years, according to analysts by the Office of the Chief Actuary in the Social Security Administration. After that point, Social Security would only be able to pay out 91% of the owed benefits. Now, arithmetic is going to catch up with this, Walter says. While the act extends the solvency of the trust fund, he thinks any permanent solution will have to involve either pushing back the full retirement age or reducing the benefits. Walters noted that the bill will also require transfers from the general fund to the Social Security trust funds to make up for any loss of revenue from the elimination of taxes on Social Security benefits. The bill's analysis found its provisions could be expected to reduce federal debt held by the public by $8.9 trillion over a 75-year period, although general fund transfers could add to the gross federal debt. I don't think that this government is ever going to let Social Security fail, Smith said. However, he notes that there are still many Republicans from the Ronald Reagan era who remember when the tax on benefits was implemented in 1984 as a way of addressing a shortfall in the Social Security system. They may not be likely to support its repeal. Skepticism about this bill and its chances of passing. The You Earned It, You Keep It Act is awaiting action in the House Committee of Ways and Means. It has also been referred to the House Committee on Energy and Commerce for consideration and isn't likely to see any action this year. It didn't have bipartisan sponsorship, which makes it an uphill struggle in the House, Smith says. All 9 co-sponsors of the bill are Democratic members of the House. What's more, it would break President Joe Biden's pledge not to raise taxes on people earning less than $400,000 a year, as I mentioned to you earlier. As written, it would raise Social Security payroll taxes for those making more than $250,000 per year. After the new year, any bill not passed will need to be reintroduced for further consideration. So as I mentioned, this is going to need to be reintroduced unless they act on this very quickly. But at this time, there is no traction on this bill other than Donald Trump is saying this is going to be a priority when he gets into office. While President-elect Donald Trump has stated his support for eliminating taxes on Social Security benefits, it seems unlikely a Republican-controlled House and Senate would pass a bill identical to the You Earned It, You Keep It Act. Republican legislators, they have historically balked at the idea of raising taxes. However, Republican voters, they aren't opposed to the idea. A 2024 survey by the University of Maryland's Program for Public Consultation found that 87% of U.S. adults, including 86% of Republican respondents, support making all income in excess of $400,000 a year subject to the payroll tax that help fund Social Security. While the You Earned It, You Keep It Act doesn't seem destined to become law, overall, it's a good place to start a conversation, Walters said. He added that it would be better for Congress to address the looming Social Security shortfall sooner rather than later. The longer we wait, the larger the reforms. So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. It is very much so looking like this is going to need to be reintroduced, but we are seeing that just today, early this morning, The Social Security Fairness Act passed, and we had heard from Representative John Larson, who said he was very happy to see this. He is a huge advocate for Social Security reform, but he has said it is simply not enough. That there are people depending on this. This is not an entitlement program. This is something that has been earned. People have paid into it their entire lives, and now when they pull from it, they should not be taxed. They should be able to count on it. They need a bigger check to come out. He is saying increases across the board. Let me know your thoughts. He's saying this is a step in the right direction, but it's simply not enough. We need more. Let me know if you agree in the comments. But you guys, that is the latest breaking news. Congratulations to those that have been waiting for this to pass. The Social Security Fairness Act has officially passed in the House, now in the Senate, and it is moving on to the president to be signed into law. Finally, a piece of legislation for Social Security done. So there you have it, you guys. Now also, to get caught up on the latest news, check out this video right here next, as I will keep you up to speed on everything. And if you haven't done so yet, hit that like button, subscribe to stay up to date, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.